Imagine if you could sit down with some of the world's most successful, resilient, and brilliant people and ask them one question. What do you do differently? That's exactly what Tim Ferriss has done hundreds of times. Over years of hosting The Tim Ferriss Show, he's interviewed world-class athletes, billionaire investors, artists, entrepreneurs, monks, doctors, and warriors. And then he condensed the best of their wisdom into a single book, Tools of Titans. But this isn't a typical self-help book. It's not polished inspiration or surface-level success stories. It's a raw, honest, and tactical manual for how real people think, live, and grow. Ferriss doesn't claim to have the answers, but he's masterful at finding the people who do and uncovering their habits, mindsets, failures, fears, and rituals. This isn't a book you read once, it's one you live through. And today, we're going to walk through it, chapter by chapter, theme by theme. These are the Tools of Titans, and they just might change the way you think about your own potential. Chapter 1, Morning Routines. Win the day before it starts. Almost every top performer Ferriss interviewed, regardless of their field, had one thing in common: a morning ritual. It wasn't always long, it wasn't always complicated, but it was consistent. For some, like Jocko Willink, it's waking up at 4:30 a.m. and training like a warrior. For others, like Tony Robbins, it's cold plunges and breath work. For Tim himself, it might be journaling, tea, and stillness. The point isn't what you do, it's that you take control of the first hour. Before emails, before news, before the world pulls you into chaos. Even 5 minutes of stillness, movement, or gratitude can change your entire inner state. Because your day doesn't begin when you open your eyes. It begins the moment you decide to be intentional. Chapter 2, Meditation and Stillness, Training the Mind. In a world built to distract you, silence becomes a superpower. Again and again, top performers told Ferriss the same thing: meditation changed their life. Not in a spiritual, vague way, in a grounded, tactical way. More focus, less reactivity, better decision-making, more space between stimulus and response. Even 5 minutes a day can rewire your brain. Naval Ravikant meditates daily to clear the RAM in his head. Rick Rubin retreats into silence to hear his creative voice. Chade Meng Tan, Google's jolly good fellow, teaches emotional mastery through breath. The common thread: they treat stillness not as luxury but as training. Because if you can control your attention, you can control your life. Chapter 3, The Power of Saying No. Derek Sivers said it best: if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Top performers aren't overwhelmed because they work harder. They're focused because they say no more often. Every yes is a trade. Every commitment drains energy. Every maybe is a thief. Ferriss highlights this over and over. The most successful people are not the busiest. They are the clearest. Clarity is a weapon. When you know what matters, you stop chasing everything. You build from depth, not urgency. And your time starts serving your mission, not your fear. Chapter 4, Failure as Fuel. There's a myth that Titans never fail. That's false. What's true? They fail better. Bren Brown speaks about the courage to be vulnerable. James Altucher talks about losing millions and bouncing back. Chris Sacca explains how his early flameouts led him to invest in Twitter and Uber. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the foundation of it. Ferriss himself has faced depression, public collapse, and suicidal thoughts. He doesn't hide that. He shares it because it's what makes him real. The difference isn't in avoiding failure. It's in how you stand back up. Chapter 5, The Rule of 80/20. Pareto's law is everywhere in this book. 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. The best performers don't try to do everything well. They find what works and double down. Whether it's business, learning, or relationships, they constantly ask, what gives the highest return? What can I eliminate? What should I stop doing entirely? This is ruthless clarity. It's how Peter Thiel built billion-dollar companies. It's how Reid Hoffman helped scale LinkedIn. It's how Tim learned languages, built companies, and healed his mind. Not by doing more, but by choosing less, better. Chapter 6, Physical First, Movement as Mind Medicine. You can't perform like a titan if your body's falling apart. Almost every guest in the book prioritized health not just for aesthetics, but for energy, focus, and emotional balance. From strength training to kettlebells, fasting to sleep tracking, they treat the body as non-negotiable infrastructure. Some train like elite athletes, others focus on longevity and recovery. What matters is not the system, but the discipline. Because your body isn't separate from your mind. It's the foundation your entire life rests on. Chapter 7, Money and Wealth, Redefining Success. A surprising number of Ferriss's guests don't talk about wealth in the way you'd expect. Sure, they've made millions, but their focus? Time, freedom, meaning, impact. Naval Ravikant reminds us, making money is a skill, having wealth is a mindset. True wealth is being able to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. That means building assets, learning to say no, avoiding lifestyle inflation, and realizing rich is not the goal, freedom is. Chapter 8, Writing, Thinking, and Creating. Whether it's Seth Godin, Maria Popova, or Kevin Kelly, creatives in the book share one belief. Creativity is a daily practice, not a magical burst. They write badly until it gets better. They show up even when it's not flowing. They protect their time like their life depends on it. Ferriss found that creators don't wait for inspiration. They build the conditions for it to arise. They journal, they unplug, they walk, they read. And slowly, ideas emerge from silence. The Titan's mind is not louder, it's more patient. Chapter 9, Death, Fear, and Legacy. Ferriss ends the book with deeper questions. What do you fear? What are you avoiding? What would you do if you had only 6 months to live? He shares how writing down fears, fear setting, changed his life more than goal setting ever did. The people he interviews all face mortality not with denial, but with clarity. They ask, am I aligned with what matters? Am I living integrity? If I died tomorrow, would I be proud of how I showed up? That's not morbid. That's what makes life real. The truth about Titans is this. They're not superhuman. They just do small things with extreme consistency. They listen more than they speak. They edit their life like a craft. And they design every day with intention. You don't need to become anyone else. You just need to become more you-focused, conscious, awake. If this video lit a fire in you, if it helped you slow down and think bigger, subscribe to Real Deep Understanding. This channel is where we reflect, sharpen, and move from insight to action. Like this video if you feel more focused. Comment below, which tool are you adding to your life this week? Share this with someone building something great and remind them the path isn't solo, but it is sacred. You already have everything you need. Now, use the tools.